Shares, once again, welcome to the Senate. You are before plenary for purposes of responding to question number 041 by the Senator for Kajiado County, question number 042 by Senator Hamida Kibwana, and question number 043 by the Senator for West Pokot, Senator Reverend Julius Morgo. Senator for Kajiado County, Senator Seke, you may proceed to ask your question.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think I also have question 040. I stand to be corrected. I will start with that 041. Then I go to 040 later, as you've guided.
Yes, Honorable Senator, you may start with question number 040.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Question number 1, could the Cabinet Secretary disclose the number of land owners along the Wayleaf corridor of the Kajiado Namanga Sultan Hamud, Loitoktok, and Umma University Konza transmission line projects, and provide details of how many among them have been fully or partially compensated, as well as those who are yet to be compensated? B, what has occasioned the delay in finalizing the compensation? C, could the Cabinet Secretary provide the payment schedule for all outstanding claims and outline the measures in place to ensure timely disbursement, partially for landowners whose parcels have free of any encumbrances and who possesses the necessary documentation? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I'll proceed to respond as follows, Honorable Speaker. The total number of project-affected persons for the Kajiado, Namanga, Sultan Hamud, Oloitoktok, and Umma University Konza transmission line projects is 836. The breakdown of the compensation status for the project-affected persons for each transmission line project is tabulated in Table 1, 2, and 3, which is attached. The number of PAPs, Honorable Speaker, not compensated, is 108 from the Kajiado Namanga project, 37 from the Sultan Hamud Loitoktok project, and 18 from Isinya Konza project. Honorable Speaker, the summary in the tables I have alluded to are self-explanatory. For instance, you find for Kajiado Namanga, 400 persons have been fully compensated, representing 79% of the total number. And 120 fully paid for Sultan Hamud, the Tok, accounting for 76.43%. And 144 fully compensated in respect of the Isinya Konza transmission line project, accounting for 83%. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum can confirm that as of 13th of March 2026, 163 project-affected persons had not been compensated from the 3 transmission line projects. These project-affected persons, Honorable Speaker, have not been compensated fully due to a number of reasons, chief of which is budgetary constraints, missing documentation, the question of absentee landowners, and returned offer letters, and some others due to rejection of offers. The attachments, Honorable Speaker, also provide details for these non-compensation cases. Honorable Speaker, finally, the Ministry is committed to ensuring all the project-affected persons are compensated. To meet this commitment, Honorable Speaker, the Ministry, through KETRACO, has been encouraging the PAPs who have not returned the requisite offer letters or who have not submitted the required documents to submit them in time to help us conclude this process, Honorable Speaker. To ensure the PAPs who have met the compensation criteria set are compensated promptly, Honorable Speaker. The Ministry is in constant engagement with the National Treasury to provide the necessary resources for this particular purpose. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Seki, do you have any supplementary questions?
I would wish to have this chance to my colleagues if they have, but if they don't have, then I'm done with it. Of course, I'll go through the documentation.
Senator Manzo.
Mr. Speaker, I would like the Cabinet Secretary to confirm, now that he's talking about budgetary constraints, delay the compensation, now that the power sector is interconnected and Kenya Power company is making a lot of this money, is there a way, finally, you would redirect the same, because they are related, to make sure that everybody is sufficiently compensated and that lack of budget is not an excuse?
Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I've heard the Cabinet Secretary say there are absentee landlords. I don't know whether in Maasai land there are absentee landlords, unless the Cabinet Secretary has intention of taking away private land in the disguise of absentee landlords. And finally, Honorable Speaker, there are public utilities, government lands. They have indicated they are public utilities, but these are assigned to specific state departments and specific functions, and therefore they should compensate that land equally as they are compensating for private facilities, as this has been set aside for public utilities for that community. If it is a dispensary land, Honorable Speaker, although it's a government land, the community will still need a dispensary. And therefore, that I hope the ministry is not trying to use that to say there was free government land that they wanted to use as a wayleaf. Can the Cabinet Secretary tell us what is this absentee land? And I've checked the document, I've not seen anywhere that indicates an absentee landlord.
Senator A.C. Okenyuri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would also wish to know from the Cabinet Secretary the total amount that's pending compensation in the key projected areas where the projects are, and if there is, what the exact figure is that they have remitted to the National Lands Commission in compensation of the PAPs, or it's just a commitment. Can the Cabinet Secretary come out clear and specify? Thank you.
Senator Charanke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Follow up on this compensation of that power line or transmission has used. The CS should tell the country there are many delays in terms of payment of Ketraco. For example, Tororo, Lesos, Olkaria, there have been delays. So my question is, apart from this Kajiado issue, how many are still pending to be paid across the country in terms of compensation, where way leave has been sought by Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, so that we can know how many as per the country and how many people's affected persons have not been compensated. And maybe on to addition, Mr. Speaker, since it's the same question, on budgetary constraints, the CS has not given us a commitment that now we are doing budget policy statement. Did he present before the budget committee of the National Assembly through the Energy Committee, the parent committee in the National Assembly, so that people who are waiting under that issue of transmission of way leave compensation can be compensated, Mr. Speaker? I yield back.
Senator Faki.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mine is to inquire whether I understand the government is building an oil refinery in Tanga, in the Republic of Tanzania. Yet, in Mombasa, we are leasing our refinery, which has been there since independence. We are leasing it to a Nigerian company without the participation or public participation of the people of Mombasa. Could the minister explain under what circumstances the government is investing in another country rather than investing in Mombasa, where it will be cheaper to upgrade the refinery than to build a new refinery altogether in another country? Thank you.
Honorable Faki, that is not a supplementary question because it's not related to the primary question. However, yes, if in a position to respond to it, you may. If you're not, you may undertake to provide the answer maybe at a later date. Senator Mundigi.
Asante Bwana Spika, swali langu ni kwa waziri wa energy. Uko Embu County, Mbeere South, kuna damu KenGen wanajenga inaitwa Kadhenge Dam, na kuna shule iko hapo na saa hii wako na pressure waweze kuondoka pale. Umepanga kuondoa hiyo shule namna gani, wakati gani, na pia wale watu wako pale watalipwa namna gani ndio waweze kuondoka, ndio KenGen iweze kujenga ile damu?
Senator Mutinda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Bwana Waziri, you've provided in your response the total amount of pending bills. The issue of compensation for the people at Konza City has been there for over 10 years. I just needed to understand the schedule that is in place from Treasury, if there are any agreements on how these payments are going to be done. What are the timelines that these payments are going to be done? Was there an effort during the supplementary budget process that you presented your case as far as this pending bill is concerned? And I'm coming from a point that this issue has been there for so long. So is this just a document presented before this House for the sake of presentation, or there's a factual commitment by the Minister for Treasury in ensuring that this payment will be adhered to? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mungatana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just briefly, when the government was undertaking the connectivity, surely they must have put aside some money for compensation of the people in Kajiado. So the question I wanted the ministry to just clarify to us is that how much was this money, and what is the problem? What is the problem? Because if the money had been put aside, surely there should be no problem in
giving this money to the people of Kajiado instead of taking their land and then not giving them, and then the stories begin. What is the project budget that was put for the compensation of the people of Kajiado? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may now respond to those questions.
Thank you once again, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, to start with the question from Senator Manzo. Of course, Honorable Speaker, our agencies and entities work very, very closely together. However, these entities or agencies have got clear mandates, very, very clear mandates in the sector. The mandate of KPLC is different from the mandate of KenGen, and it's different from the mandate of KETRACO, and so on and so forth. Honorable Speaker, the particular transmission lines we are talking about are transmission lines under the purview of KETRACO. And KETRACO is the implementing agency. And therefore, the compensation we are talking about, Honorable Speaker, is compensation of being undertaken by KETRACO, of course, through the National Land Commission, as is required by law. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Speaker, the matter of absentee landlords may sound remote, Honorable Speaker, but the fact, Honorable Speaker, is that this is a reality, Honorable Speaker. There are land buyers, not just in Kajiado County alone. There are land buyers all over the country who, once they have bought the land parcels, don't actually live on those land parcels. And in this particular case, these absentee land owners are persons who actually have got ownership of these land parcels, and since they are not present, they have not made any effort to contact KETRACO for purposes of effecting these compensations. Honorable Speaker, the figures I have mentioned in respect of the various lines are the actual figures. And all these compensations, Honorable Speaker, are undertaken by the implementing agency, which is KETRACO in this particular case, through the National Land Compensation. It is the implementing agency that acquires the land, goes ahead and provides for the budget for land compensation, and then avails that money to the NLC for purposes of effecting the compensation, Honorable Speaker. The acquiring entity is the procuring entity, Honorable Speaker, under the law. And let me also say this, Honorable Speaker, that it is indeed true that it is not just these 4 or so lines that are having some challenges to do with land compensation. There are also a number of transmission line projects, including the one that was mentioned by Senator Cherargei, okay, where landowners have not been fully compensated, but of course we are in the process of effecting these compensations. Honorable Speaker, it's good to combine that question with the question of Honorable Mungatana, that it is logical, really, that we have the budgetary provisions for these compensations at the commencement of these projects But, Honorable Speaker, the reality is that many a time, if not all the times, we depend on exchequer releases from the National Treasury. After providing for the budget, as is customary, what follows is the release of the exchequer. Until that happens, Honorable Speaker, you cannot say for sure that you will be able to do full compensation. And again, we do this knowing fully well that we have a duty as a country and as a ministry to continually upgrade or improve our infrastructure for not only transmission, but also for distribution. So it's a delicate balancing act, Honorable Speaker. Yeah. Honorable Speaker, I'm waiting for the question of Konza again. Same situation, Honorable Speaker. And we are working tirelessly as a ministry to ensure that in the fullness of time, all these cases of compensation are completed. The Honorable Speaker, there is the question of the Katheke Dam project in Embu County. This project is at the preliminary stage, and engagement by KenGen with the affected communities will be taking place in due course. And proper and complete feasibility study is going to be undertaken, Honorable Speaker, to be able to determine the extent to which the communities will be affected, including the school, Honorable Speaker, and how they can be addressed, Honorable Speaker. Finally, Honorable Speaker, even though it is not related to the question that was asked, the Honorable Senator Mohamed Faki's question about a refinery, I will confine myself to the refinery in Changamwe. Honorable Speaker, a refinery business is a matter of commercial logic. It must make commercial sense for one to undertake a refinery business, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Speaker, the refinery in Changamwe, due to the economics, was found not to make business sense. And that's why, as a matter of fact, operations at the facility were discontinued. However, Honorable Speaker, even with the impending drilling of oil in South Lokichar, and Honorable Speaker, let me say this from this podium, that for the first time, Kenya is going to commercially produce oil. In any case, before the end of this year. We have gone through all the necessary processes, and the last 2 weeks or so, I was in Lokichar to undertake a groundbreaking for operations in that region, and we are sure that by the end of this year, we shall be producing crude oil from South Lokichar. That notwithstanding, Honorable Speaker, the quantities envisaged to come out of South Lokichar are not adequate to run a commercial refinery. From the beginning, we shall be producing about 20,000 barrels per day, which will progress to some 50,000 barrels per day. Honorable Speaker, petroleum economists tell us that you need some 300,000, 500,000 barrels per day to be able to run viably a refinery. And therefore, that informs the reason That informs the justification, that informs the basis for the plan to establish a refinery in Tanga that will serve not only Kenya, but will also serve the other neighboring countries such as Tanzania, Uganda, South Sudan, and so on and so forth. It's basically business logic, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
We'll now move to question number 041. You may proceed, Honorable Senator.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Again, question number 041A. Could the Cabinet Secretary state the number of households in Kajiado County that are currently connected to the national electricity grid and explain how the electricity connectivity rate in the county compares to the national average? B, how many of these households were connected to the grid in the 2022, 2023, 2023-2024, and 2025-2026 financial years, and could the Cabinet Secretary provide a breakdown of this data by county and ward? C, what are the planned interventions by the ministry to enhance electricity connectivity in the county, and could the Cabinet Secretary disclose the specific targets and the associated timelines? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may now respond.
The Honorable Speaker, I will respond as follows. The total number of households connected to electricity in Kajiado County is 365,277,000, while the total number of connections in the country as a whole is some 10 million, Honorable Speaker, 346,947. But let me also put this in context, Honorable Speaker, that by the time this administration was coming into office, that is August or thereabout of 2022, the electricity connectivity in the country covered some 8.9 million households. Honorable Speaker, since that time up to now, the electricity connectivity has tremendously increased due to deliberate actions, deliberate steps taken by the government. And in just under 3 years or so, this number has shot up to 10.3 million households, Honorable Speaker. It is a jump of about 15% in just 3 years or so. That goes to underscore the very deliberate steps this government is taking to ensure that the country is electrified, obviously with the attendant benefits to the economy and to the society generally. Honorable Speaker, to enhance electricity connections or connectivity in Kajiado County, and I've had occasion, Honorable Speaker, to visit Kajiado County a number of times. I've been to Kajiado East, Kajiado Central, Kajiado West, Kajiado North, and so on and so forth. The ministry is implementing some 53 schemes distributed across the constituencies as indicated in the succeeding paragraph, Honorable Speaker. A detailed list of the schemes is also attached for reference in Appendix 1. Honorable Speaker, the ministry through Kenya Power and REREC has been implementing various electrification projects in Kajiado County. Table 1 shows the total investment in electrification and the number of customers connected to the grid from the financial year 22-23 to financial year 25-26. This is broken down for each of the 5 sub-counties or constituencies in the county. Honorable Speaker, REREC has funded electrification projects worth some Kenya shillings 1.415 billion, connecting a total of 4,358 customers in the last 4 financial years. In addition, some 310 high masts and streetlights have been funded, thus impacting thousands of households or customers in market centers and key streets, in addition to enhancing security and longer business hours with a positive enhancement to GDP, obviously. Annex 1 contains the detailed summary of these projects. And it is self-explanatory, Honorable Speaker. Part C, the government through Kenya Power and REREC again continues to implement various electrification programs in Kajiado County with a key focus on the last mile connectivity project. As I've said many times before, Honorable Speaker, in some of these counties, it is the first time they are seeing these enhanced electrification programs. It is a first, and only in this administration, Honorable Speaker. There are very many parts of this country that have been in darkness for all these years since we attained independence. Thanks to the deliberate measures taken by this administration, headed by His Excellency President William Ruto, that situation is changing, and is changing for good, Honorable Speaker. The budget allocation and scope under the FD-EU EIB last mile connectivity project is some Kenya shillings 165,762,491 and 10 cents. And there is a total of 53 schemes which are under implementation in Kajiado County, comprising of 5 new schemes and 48 maximization schemes, targeting a total of 1,750 customers. The ministry is adopting a multi-pronged strategy of fast-tracking the ongoing projects in various ways as follows. 1, equitable allocation of budgets to each constituency in Kajiado County, leveraging on connectivity and access rates to ensure fairness based on available budget. And this equity, Honorable Speaker, is something we are stressing, not just countrywide, but also within the counties, to deal with historical disparities, Honorable Speaker. In order to further enhance electricity connectivity, Honorable Speaker, REREC is engaging the members of parliament in Kajiado County, and I continue to engage with them directly, personally, Honorable Speaker, to collaborate on the matching fund program, where the cost of electrification is shared shilling for shilling, subject to availability of budget. One constituency, that is Kajiado West, has already benefited from this program to install solar street lights worth Kenya shillings 10 million. And I was privileged to visit Kajiado West constituency, Honorable Speaker, and was hosted by the Honorable MP. Honorable Speaker, provision of full complement of critical line construction materials for all ongoing projects to ensure that they are completed on time. The ministry is also encouraging a close collaboration between REREC and Kenya Power officers to jointly inspect and commission completed projects and to ensure they are metered on time. Holding weekly progress meetings with various contractors and undertaking various projects in Kajiado County to measure progress and sort out any bottlenecks that may hinder completion of these very important projects, Honorable Speaker. REREC will continue working with stakeholders in Kajiado County to prioritize electrification of public facilities and installation of transformers subject to availability of budget. The full implementation of these strategies gives a definite chance of completing all ongoing projects by the end of 2026. And Honorable Speaker, this is a journey. And we are sure, as a ministry, working closely with all our stakeholders, including members of parliament, that we are on course. Thank you.
Senator Seki.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the Cabinet Secretary for the response, but more importantly, I want to inform him that question A, I wanted to clarify, or you to clarify, in comparisons to national average, because you've just indicated the Kajiado. Honorable Speaker, we wanted to know where we are as a county, because, Honorable Speaker, if the entire county in the three mentioned years, financial years, we have just been connected 1,750 customers who've received the electricity for the 3 financial years. That is why we wanted to know where are we as a county, because we have 21,000 square kilometers as a county with a population of 2 million Kenyans, and we're only getting to 1,700 customers connected electricity in the 3 years of this government. That is why we wanted to know where, in comparison to the national grid, national
Honorable Senator,
average.
do you want to know, you just want to know for the past 3 years, or for the time this program started running? Because the Honorable CS has given you the answer in paragraph, I think paragraph 1 of his response, that the total number of households connected in the country stands at 10,346,947. Out of those, 365,277 are in Kajiado.
Yeah.
So he's given the total number for the entire country and the total number of households in Kajiado. You can draw the comparison from there. But Honorable CS, note that you will explain it further.
Then the last question is the Cabinet Secretary indicated that there is an engagement of the MPs with REREC. Where is the engagement of this honorable member, senator for Kajiado? Why are they not engaging the Senate of this county in issues of connectivity? And is it because of I am a one-term senator? Thank you.
You are not seeking re-election, Honorable Senator Okech?
No, no.
Senator Okech?
Mr. Speaker, I seek your indulgence. My question was actually in the previous question, and I tried to seek your attention. And
okay, then have your seat. Unfortunately, we've already passed that bridge.
It's a very important question, Mr. Speaker.
I know, but time is of the essence. We are dedicating these minutes for purposes of
maybe then you can give me the next question.
I will.
Because
I will do that, Honorable
there as well.
Senator, I'll do that.
Thank you, thank you.
Senator Boni?
According to the visionary President Mwai Kibaki, he had a vision that by the year 2030, connectivity in the country would be at 100%. Could the CS inform us where we are as a country and whether we are on track to achieving 100% connectivity by 2030 as envisioned by President Mwai Kibaki?
Senator Betsiengo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to request the Cabinet Secretary to clarify. He prouds himself in the increase of connectivity to 15% by the current administration.
how many numbers, or the increase of numbers of connectivity in Kitui County, and specifically Mwingi North, has been done within the 15% increase? Or is it perceived that Kitui County and Mwingi North in particular is an opposition zone? That's why the connectivity is not happening. Let the CS clarify. Thank you.
Senator Mbugua.
Thank you, Speaker. Cabinet Secretary, could you tell this House how the power sector is going to benefit from the infrastructure fund in terms of connectivity? Thank you.
Senator Veronica.
Honorable CS, welcome back to Senate. And could you confirm to the nation how many homes you have connected so far through this program that you have been doing? How many homes across the whole country you have connected so far?
Senator Omtata.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Honorable Secretary, you have mentioned or you have touched on solar energy. And we know that great powers like even China are shifting strongly towards solar energy. What policy and what efforts is the ministry making to make sure that Kenya makes use of the solar energy that we have in this country, instead of waiting for the sun to convert things into biocarbons that we can tap or into waterfalls? How is the ministry ensuring that this abundant sunshine that we enjoy in this country is convertible into electrical power? And I'm talking about the tax regimes that we have on solar energy, and what efforts is the ministry making to ensure that Kenya becomes a major manufacturer of solar panels and solar technologies? Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Fatuma Dulo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mine, Mr. Speaker, is on Isiolo County, a place called Oldonyiro, where I think there are donors from Middle East who sponsored that particular project, and I hope the PS is here because we have had several discussions where part of the town has been electrified, but part of the other town, which is a sub-county now, does not have electricity. And this is an area of insecurity. More specifically, part of the Isiolo County has insecurity issues. And I know last mile connectivity is going on, but I would appreciate if CS can tell us what he's doing to make sure that the projects that have been started are complete, because estimate for Oldonyiro has been done. What is lacking is budget. Can you kindly fast track that process and make sure that the project is complete? Because some of the government institutions like schools in that Oldonyiro has no electricity, while some part has electricity. I thank you.
Senator Wakoli.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mine is to request our good minister to avail to each one of us, the senators of the Republic of Kenya, the statistics of the increment of households in our counties vis-a-vis what we found under the former regime of the former president, so that the doubting Thomases can equally see that figures don't lie. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may now proceed to respond.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me proceed to respond as follows, in no particular order. Starting, of course, with the question by Honorable Senator Boni Halwali. We are on course, not just to meet the target set out under Vision 2030, but also our obligation under the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 7 on access to energy. Honorable Speaker, the government of the Republic of Kenya, and especially this administration, is not just committed to ensuring universal access to electricity by 2030, but is actively working towards that, day in, day out. Honorable Speaker, as we speak, we have got an average of 75% access rate. But that access rate, Honorable Speaker, that natural average could mislead in the sense that some parts of the country are far much high levels, while some parts of the country are still very, very low. Very, very low. That is the kind of disparity, historical imbalance that this administration is correcting, Honorable Speaker. That electricity under this administration is no longer luxury. It is a basic human right, Honorable Speaker. And His Excellency the President has directed us to ensure that we extend electricity to every corner of this country without any form of discrimination. So that as the national average increases, it increases across the country, Honorable Speaker. And coming back to Honorable Wakoli's question, again, and I agree with him, we shall endeavor to provide a detailed response in terms of the increase in number of households connected to electricity from the time this administration took over up to now, county by county, and if possible, constituency by constituency. I am delighted that Bungoma County, where Honorable Bakoli comes from, has made big progress. I've had occasion to visit Bungoma County a number of times, number of constituencies, and I've had a number of meetings with the MPs of Bungoma County. Honorable Speaker, the question by Honorable Seki in terms of engagement of senators, we, Honorable Speaker, endeavor to engage all leaders, especially elected leaders. And a number of times, I call for these meetings county by county. My appeal, Honorable Speaker, is that when such meetings are called, Honorable Speaker, kindly assist us by having the senators also attend alongside the members of the National Assembly so that we collectively address these issues and plan together, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Seki has had occasion to visit me in my office to address some of these issues. And I'm sure one of the projects in Kajiado County, especially the project under the name of Olepolos, costing some 17.5 million shillings, is covering the areas of interest or of concern to the Honorable Senator. Honorable Speaker, let me go back and say this, that once I provided the statistics about the connectivity rates and the increment in number of connections per county, it will then help us determine collectively which areas to address on a priority basis. Honorable Speaker, I will also do this to cover the issue that has been raised by Honorable Senator Beth Siengo in respect of Kitui County. And I've also had occasion to visit Kitui County a number of times. I've been to Kitui East, Kitui South, I think Kitui West, Kitui Central, Honorable Speaker. Yes, these last 2 years, pushing this electrification program and working closely with all the MPs. And as we do so, we don't do on the basis of who is supporting who or who belongs to which faction or to which political formation. No, that is not part of our consideration. We deal with all leaders at all levels, regardless of their political persuasion, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Mbugua, Senator Mbugua, he asked the role that the infrastructure, the National Infrastructure Fund, will play in helping us push forward the agenda of electrification, if I got him right. It is indeed true that this National Infrastructure Fund is a godsend. It's a godsend. In the sense that for the first time, we are going to be able to free the national budget as conceived and approved by the Parliament of Kenya from undertaking major infrastructure projects, but then allow this National Infrastructure Fund to deal with such projects, especially those projects which are viable. And there are many in the energy sector, starting with the generation, transmission, distribution, Honorable Speaker. So the answer is yes. The answer is yes. This historic fund is going to be very, very useful going forward. And I'm sure it will make a very big difference. I will also address the issue of Honorable Senator Maina when we bring the statistics about connectivity by county. And allow me, Honorable Speaker, again to provide answers, specific answers to Honorable Dulo in respect of the particular project in Isiolo. Later, Honorable Speaker. But let me say this in terms of the question by Honorable Senator Umtata. We are alive to the fact as a country that the world is transitioning, energy speaking. Kenya as a country is in the lead in terms of energy transition in this region. Our national grid is supported by about 93% green energy. And solar is playing a key role in this. As we speak, our installed capacity of generation is about 3,300 megawatts, with solar contributing some 210 megawatts, wind 435 megawatts, and so on and so forth. Whereas it is our intention to continue to implement solarization of our grid, we take cognizance of the fact that solar, just like wind, is an intermittent source of energy. And therefore, we must strike a delicate balance between base load and these intermittent sources. So the answer is yes, we shall continue to employ, to adopt solar technology as we move along. But beside the 210 megawatts which is installed, there are a number of households, private entities that have installed their own solar panels, which in our estimation accounts for about some 600 megawatts. So solar is here to stay, and we have to harness this technology to continue to light up our country. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
We now move to question number 042 by Senator Hamida Kibwana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Senator Beth. I'm standing in for Senator Hamida Kibwana. The question reads, could the Cabinet Secretary explain the cause of power outages experienced in several estates in Nairobi following the heavy rains and flooding of 6th March 2026, and indicate the areas affected and the duration of the outages? B, what measures has the ministry, together with the Kenya Power and Lighting Company, KPLC, and other relevant agencies put in place to ensure that electricity infrastructure is able to withstand heavy rains, flooding, and other adverse weather conditions? C, has the ministry undertaken an assessment of the vulnerability of substations, transformers, power lines, and related infrastructure in flood-prone urban areas, and if so, what are the findings? D, and the last, what plans are in place to modernize and climate-proof Kenya's electricity infrastructure, as is the case in countries with advanced weather-resilient energy systems like in Japan, Singapore, where we are going, and South Korea? Thank you.
There's, you've left out A, or have you abandoned it? You've gone up to D.
Sorry, Honorable Speaker, I had not seen that. E, what alternative and innovative power solutions is the ministry considering for the continuity of electricity supply during extreme weather conditions, particularly for hospitals, water installations, security facilities, and densely populated residential areas? Thank you.
Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond.
Honorable Speaker, I will respond as follows. That the following were the causes of outages following the heavy rains in Nairobi and environs. One is flooding. Honorable Speaker, substations in areas where surrounding built environment has constrained or obstructed water paths are vulnerable, and storm water overflow to the substations. The affected substations, Honorable Speaker, in this particular respect were Nairobi West, Industrial Area, Ridgeways, Kimathi, and Syokimau. The substations mentioned supply power to South C, Langata Road, Upper Hill, South B, Industrial Area, Ridgeways, Jogo Road, Nolongo, Mavoko, and Katani areas. Further, Honorable Speaker, the flooding caused damage to power equipment and water ingress in above-ground medium voltage switchgear, leading to total failure and damage to electrical cables. 2, fallen trees on power lines, Honorable Speaker. Due to the storms and strong winds during this time, Honorable Speaker, trees growing near power lines fell on the lines, leading to damage of both high and low voltage power lines and transformers, thereby causing extensive outages. The areas affected by falling trees were within the Dagoretti North, Langata, Westlands, and Ngong. Honorable Speaker, the ministry would like to state that since the network needed full reconstruction before the customers were powered back, the duration of the outages was between 12 hours and 72 hours. And to ensure that the customers remain connected to power, the outages were urgently attended to by correcting the defects occasioned by the heavy rains where possible, transferring customers to alternative power sources, and other short-term measures to ensure customer supply was restored in the shortest time possible, while major repairs were being undertaken, Honorable Speaker. Part B, following the floods, comprehensive assessment of the power infrastructure was undertaken. And on the immediate term, the following remedial measures have been lined up. 1, improve the drainage tunnels around the substations in liaison with county governments. 2, engage other entities like Nairobi City County, Kenyatta, Kenha, and Kura to clear stormwater passages. 3, engaging the road authorities to consider enhancing stormwaterways when doing design and construction. 4, cutting down of trees in the Wayleaf Trace in collaboration with Nairobi City County and customers with trees in own land but which encroach the Wayleaf corridor. Honorable Speaker, the ministry through Kenya Power did undertake an assessment of the effect of the floods and vulnerability of the substations. Indeed, the threat posed by floods on the power system is immense and cannot be just wished away. Therefore, from the assessment, the following medium to the long-term initiatives are being considered. 1, reconstructing the older stations affected by changing drainage patterns caused by newer developments to raise substation levels several meters above ground. 2, undergrounding of power infrastructure to reduce interaction with weather elements. 3, usage of concrete poles in place of wooden poles to reduce damage to the power network while ensuring the lines are more robust and resilient to climate impacts. To make our electricity grid more climate-proof and resilient, Honorable Speaker, it requires a combination of infrastructure upgrades, smart technologies, policy reforms, and risk-informed planning to ensure the power system can withstand and quickly recover from climate-related shocks such as floods, droughts, heat waves, storms, wildfires, and extreme winds. Therefore, there is need, Honorable Speaker, to modernize our grid. Modernization of the grid is a continuous process, and the energy sector agencies have been investing heavily in this regard. Further, Honorable Speaker, to improve our network resilience and reliability, the ministry and her agencies have been investing on smart grid. Honorable Speaker, a smart grid is more reliable, resilient, and easier to maintain as the operators can easily detect a fault and restore it. A smart grid, Honorable Speaker, will enhance proper maintenance scheduling to avoid blackouts. To conclude, Honorable Speaker, the resilience of a grid is not only enhanced through the hardware upgrade, but also having a competent and well-trained personnel. Therefore, the ministry has continually been training officers across the sector to ensure they have the right skills to run and manage a complex grid. And Kenya Power has been leading in this. Has been leading in this and working very closely with the Ministry of Energy, the Nairobi City County, Kura, and other relevant agencies working in the built environment. They have worked steadily to achieve stable and reliable electricity supply. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Betyengo, do you have any supplementary question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The CS has talked of, the first response was to talk of floods in Nairobi. And we know that floods are caused by other different elements, like when the buildings are erected along the riverian land, and that's why water must look for its way and causes the flooding. How will the ministry handle that to ensure that waterways are open? Thank you.
Senator Abbas.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, mine is actually part of the previous question. Honorable Waziri, first and foremost, I want to thank you for your passionate and commitment in connecting all of our Kenyans. Last time, when you were in Wajir with His Excellency the President, Wajir was promised that there will be a connection of the national grid. So what is the plan that Wajir will be connected to the national grid, and how soon or how fast can be done that?
Senator Lelegwe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm not sure whether the Cabinet Secretary is aware that Samburu County, particularly Mara, is experiencing the worst power outage in the country. My question is, could the Cabinet Secretary explain why Maral Town and several parts of Samburu County continue to experience persistent power outages despite hosting critical national infrastructure, and what measures and long-term measures will be put in place to ensure reliable and stable electricity supply in the county?
Senator Chiranke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for the indulgence. Mine is the issue of faulty transformers, because the CS has alluded to fault transformers that is causing sometimes power outages or blackout. So, Speaker, for example, in a place called Kipsamoite, Masab constituency, for example, there has been a transformer that has been faulty for the last 4 years. So my question is, how long does it take for the Minister of Energy or the Kenya Power and Lighting and Company intervene so that we don't see blackout? Because even average in this city, I think we lose, there's always a power outage between 2 to 5 times a day. In Mosori and Nandi County, where I come from, Mr. Speaker, is that we normally have blackouts up to 3 weeks, which even is embarrassing because I live in that area, Mr. Speaker. Can the CS, apart from holding political meetings with members of parliament, tell us what is the concrete plan? I yield back, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Sigay.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My question is related to the question that the Honorable Chair just asked with regard to the maintenance and management of transformers across the country, particularly for purposes of controlling the outages of power. I ask this question, Honorable Speaker, because the transmission line in Bomet, Narok, which is currently undergoing an upgrade, has largely been a cause of a power outage across Bomet, Narok, and a section of Kisi that line serves. That line, Honorable Speaker, is ongoing in terms of an upgrade. What are the timelines that the Cabinet Secretary could be able to give us to ensure that it becomes operational for purposes of ensuring that the power outage, especially during high traffic time that's in the night, is stopped or at least is reduced? And two, if there is any way the Cabinet Secretary, whether is aware of the Bomet Narok transmission substation, which is actually going to be the holding station for this, the environment, including the land that is hosting that transmission station, is forever dark. I mean, they do not have power. I know, Honorable CS, I've been around that area with you, you know that. I have sought for an intervention, it hasn't happened. If you are able to give us at least an indication of any action taken or to be taken, the people of Kapkwen, Bomet County, will appreciate, especially those who are actually hosting the substation. They are hosting the substation, they have no power. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may now respond. Yeah, we'll take the first set of questions.
Honorable Speaker,
Honorable CS, you may proceed.
Okay, thank you. The Honorable Speaker, allow me to start with the question of Honorable Senator Beth Siengo, as I indicated in my response initially. As a sector, as a ministry, together with our agencies, we can only work with relevant government bodies and agencies. And I mentioned here that we are working with the Nairobi City County, with Kura, with Kenha, to ensure that waterways remain open. We cannot be able to do it ourselves alone, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Speaker, the question of Bomet. Honorable Speaker, it's for a fact that the area around Bomet, Kisii, parts of Kisumu County have had challenges of adequate supply of electricity over the years. That challenge, Honorable Speaker, is going to be addressed to a large extent by the completion of the Narok-Bomet transmission line. You will recall, Honorable Speaker, that we did some short stopgap measure through Kenya Power. But the ultimate project, Honorable Speaker, which is being undertaken by KETRACO, is underway, and it should be able to come to a completion in the next 12 months. In the next 12 months, Honorable Speaker. That will, to a large extent, help address the issue of power outages in that region. And above all, it will allow us to once and for all shut down the gas turbine, the Muhoroni gas turbine, Honorable Speaker, which, as you know, is not cost effective. This line's completion is going to be very instrumental in helping us make that decision. Honorable Speaker, there has been a problem, Honorable Speaker, with wanton vandalism in some parts of Nandi, Honorable Speaker, County, of transformers and other critical energy infrastructure. We are working very, very closely with security agencies to stem the vice and also to ensure that we deal with these cases promptly. And I will be seeking Honorable Senator Siargei to provide my office with more details. Honorable Speaker, it is not our practice to take long to repair or to replace faulty transformers, Honorable Speaker. And if there are such cases, Honorable Speaker, they need to be reported promptly for appropriate actions to be taken. Honorable Speaker, again, I know we have got challenges in Samburu, and we are working very, very closely with our relevant agencies. Samburu is one of the counties that is supposed to benefit from COSAP, the Kenya Off-Grid Solar Access Project, Okay? I will be seeking, Honorable Speaker, to engage directly with Senator Legwe outside here to see what we can do jointly to address the issues affecting Samburu, especially areas around Maralal. Okay. Honorable Speaker, Wajir County, and Honorable Speaker, Wajir will be hosting us for Madaraka Day celebrations on 1st June. We are taking some stopgap measures to deal with the matter of Wajir town and environs. But in the fullness of time, we want to see Wajir County connected to the national grid. As we speak, feasibility studies have been completed. Okay? We are basically now working on the financing mechanisms to ensure that we extend the grid from Garissa to Wajir. Again, I will be seeking to engage Senator Abbas and the leadership of Wajir County, including the governor and the other members of the National Assembly, to see how fast we can move with this project collectively. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable CS, for those responses. I've got a long list of members, I believe, asking supplementary questions. And the time allocated for this question is since passed by 2 minutes. I will add another 5 minutes for those questions. And of course, Senator Manzo, go straight to the question, Honorable Senator, so that we keep time because we need to strictly comply with the next timeline for the next questions.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in Kibwezi West, when a transformer is spoiled and takes a month or two without being fixed, Mr. Speaker, the KPLC officials based in Mali can remove a working transformer from an existing line and then take it to another. Is there a way the minister will make sure that we have reliable, long-lasting transformers so that, and easy to repair so that we don't have people on power outage for a long, long time?
Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my question goes to CS on ensuring that funds that has been set aside for projects in particular regions are utilized for those regions. And I ask because, Honorable Speaker, the Cabinet Secretary is keen to ensure there is equitable connectivity in the country. What happened with the funds that were set aside for a number of counties in the Rift Valley that was dispersed to REREC, but apparently the money has been spent in other areas? And finally, Honorable Speaker, just a small thing, the issue of way leaves.
Senator Mandago, you know you are entitled to ask one supplementary
Allow
question.
me to ask this because it affects the whole country, Honorable Speaker. Just one question. What is the ministry doing about your agencies in terms of utilizing the roadway leaves? We have situations where KPLC erect poles in the middle of the roads, even when the corridor is 90 meters. And when we want to develop the roads, they ask us to pay to relocate those poles. And we have said categorically we are not paying. We want electricity. We have given you a freeway leave on our roads in the counties. You certainly cannot ask us to pay to relocate a pole you deliberately put in the middle of the road.
Senator Okech.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think the issue of, outages in the country, seeing from my colleagues, is actually not only during weather times, because in Migori County, and the CS is very well familiar with Migori County, we have traveled with them to deal with the issue of electricity. The issue of outages is humongous, and especially it appears like there is an overloading in the grid in Migori. Despite the fact that there is Masaba substation that was established by the CS, there is still a very high demand of electricity because of the ongoing mining activities both in Keancha and the larger Yatike area. And those outages, it seems like the system cannot be able to sustain the capacity. And the issue of transformers in that regard has been a major one. Transformers are blowing time without number, and the outages in Migori are outrageous. Bwana CS, what can be done about these transformers and that issue of overloading? And then, Mr. Speaker, just directly to you, I had sought the indulgence of the substantive speaker, because I think the system wasn't registering me in the first question, but it's a matter of national importance that if the CS might get time just to address the issue of shortages in fuel. Most of our petrol stations, Mr. Speaker, despite the fact that the National Standard Council did allow for the issue of standard quality to be lowered of sulfur down from 10 milligram per kg to 50 milligram per kg, we still have shortages of fuel in most of our petrol stations. Bwana CS, what is going on, and how can that issue of shortage in petrol and diesel be addressed? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Okech. Lastly, Senator Chesang.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mine is, I've heard the minister talking about many other counties like Samburu, Bomet, Kisumu, and I have not heard anywhere the ministers talking about Trans Nzoia, whereby it is one place where we do not even talk about the outages, but we have places where there are no transformers at all. So, Mr. Speaker, please, I'd like to ask the minister, what plans do they have with Trans Nzoia? I want you to put Trans Nzoia as part of the counties that you are putting as a matter of urgency in terms of the plans that you have. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I've seen Senator Okoli's hand up. I've not allowed you to speak. I just wanted to take note of the fact that I'm aware you've made a request. Similarly, Senator Mariam. I indicated that I'm giving 5 minutes extra time. If you can answer, if you can ask within 30 seconds, I'll allow you. If you go beyond, I'll stop you. So I'll start with Senator Mariam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your generous understanding. Mr. Speaker, my question is about Mandera County, the power outrages. Mr. Speaker, when the press...
Well, I was very intentional. That is why I wanted you to ask the question. We don't need stories anymore. Allow her another moment so that she can ask the question. Proceed, Senator.
Mr. Speaker, when President came to 18 of last year, there are some generators came to Mandera, and those generators' status is unquestionable, Mr. Speaker. Up to now, Mandera is in blackout. So, CS, what is the way forward so that the Mandera County has the electricity? Thank you.
Thank you. You see, you've managed. You still have got 7 seconds. Senator Wakoli, under 30 seconds.
Thank you. Mine is the bulk power plant at Nabiole Falls that is in Webuye. What is the current status, and when are we launching the project? Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Wakoli. Honorable CS, you may respond to those questions. And we have got 11 minutes to release you from here, so you may know how to utilize that time.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I will address the issue to deal with the issue raised by Honorable Okech. I'm not going in any particular order, Honorable Speaker. Okay? Honorable Speaker, the matter of power outages, it is indeed true that Migori County and the environs, power demand is increasing by the day, especially in view of the expanding mining activities in Nyatike and the environs, Honorable Speaker. Okay? Honorable Speaker, we are clear in our mind as a ministry that working closely with the leadership of Migori County, this can be addressed. How? Honorable Speaker, we have already energized the Sondu-Homa Bay Awendo transmission line, okay, with a substation, a modern substation at Masaba in Korea West, Honorable Speaker, which has brought tremendous relief, Honorable Speaker. But this relief will be felt more once the Narok-Bomet line is completed, as I mentioned earlier on. So in 12 months' time, we expect to see market change in terms of power supply in Migori and environs once the Narok-Bomet line is completed. But above all, Honorable Speaker, Migori County is privileged to host the famous Gogo hydropower plant, which the government under President William Ruto has now undertaken to upgrade from the former 2 megawatts to some 8.6 megawatts. A project being financed by the KfW, that is the German finance, to the tune of more than 5 billion shillings, Honorable Speaker. So that project, again, once completed, will help us stabilize the grid in terms of power. Not to forget to mention, Honorable Speaker, the completion and energizing of the Sondu-Ndewa transmission line, which has helped address the issue of power supply in Homa Bay and parts of Migori County, Honorable Speaker. So the government is very conscious that Migori and its environs need to be supported, and we are doing exactly that. Honorable Speaker, Trans Nzoia County is not left out. And very soon I'll be visiting Trans Nzoia County and I will be contacting Honorable Senator Chesang that we can go together with the other MPs. The government has allocated some 1.2 billion shillings for electricity connectivity alone in Trans Nzoia County. And this will help us connect some 12,000 households. By the time we get to December this year, you will see the number of households having really gone high on account of this intervention by the government, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we cannot divert funds earmarked for a particular county or region to elsewhere. And I undertake after this to take the matter up with Honorable Senator Mandago to clearly understand where this could be coming from. And if there's any such attempt, rest assured, Honorable Speaker, that I will not allow it. That all funds earmarked for specific regions must be used for projects in those regions. Honorable Speaker, again, Nabiole Falls in Webuye, Bungoma County. We are currently undertaking a feasibility study, of course, under Kengen. And this is going to be the first hydropower plant in what was then Western Province, if I'm not wrong. Okay? And we are very keen as a government to see to it that this project sees the light of the day. Honorable Speaker, again, the issue of power in Mandera, I know there are challenges in Mandera, and especially Mandera East constituency. I am in constant engagement with my friend, the Honorable Hussein Waitan, the MP for Mandera East, and the governor of Mandera. We have taken some measures. I know there was a change in the contractor, the supplier of the generators. There was a change, and because of the change, there have to be teething problems, which we are sure we shall be able to surmount in the fullness of time. But otherwise, we continue to engage closely with the leadership of Mandera. I will be inviting Senator Miriam to also come along as we address these issues. Let me conclude, Honorable Speaker, by dealing with the issue of fuel, as was raised by Honorable Senator Okech. Let me say this from the start. From the outset, Honorable Speaker, we have got adequate fuel supplies in the country. We have got adequate fuel supplies in the pipeline system, Honorable Speaker. All the products, petrol, diesel, kerosene, jet fuel, Honorable Speaker. And this has been made possible, Honorable Speaker, that in spite of the challenges that the world is going through, especially following the turmoil in the Middle East, this country has been lucky to survive that turmoil on account of the very robust government-to-government fuel importation system or framework. Honorable Speaker, the government-to-government fuel importation framework is what has enabled this country to be where it is. Otherwise, we would be talking of something different, Honorable Speaker. Many countries, without mentioning even some neighboring countries, have had serious challenges, Honorable Speaker, that you can't believe. But having said so, the latest challenge that was experienced yesterday and part of today was occasioned by a technical and administrative hitch, which we have since resolved. That hitch curtailed the normal uptake of fuel by some of our oil marketing companies. It has since been resolved, and normal supply is resuming today. I am sure by the end of today, when you go to filling stations, you will be able to get a supply of all the products of petroleum. Honorable Speaker, we continue to monitor the happenings in the Middle East very, very closely. And we continue to engage very, very closely with our international oil company suppliers, the IOCs, together with their local agents, that is the oil marketing companies that work with them closely. And we have got no doubt as government that even in the worst case scenario, this country is not going to suffer any fuel shortage. I just want to appeal to Kenyans to be patient and to bear with us as we address some of these small hitches. Honorable Speaker. And I must thank all the stakeholders, especially the oil marketing companies, for remaining cooperative and working very, very closely with us to be able to navigate these very challenging times. Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable CS, there is a question by Senator Manzo. He's already raising concerns that you've not been able to respond to. And also the last one by Senator Mandago as regards the poles which are normally erected along or in the middle of the roads when they're required to be paid for relocation. Those two you haven't answered.
Yes, it's about the Senator Manzo talked about
Senator Manzo's question was about repairs of transformers.
Yes.
And the efficiency or the effort that the Kenya Power and Lighting.
Correct, Honorable Speaker. Yes, and as I've said earlier on, Honorable Speaker, we endeavor as a ministry and of course working closely with our relevant agencies, especially Kenya Power, first and foremost, to ensure that the quality of transformers which are procured are up to date, are proper, Honorable Speaker. But secondly, Honorable Speaker, whenever there are cases of breakdown or malfunction of transformers, our appeal is that such cases need to be reported promptly. And we are socializing our officers to be able to respond in time, Honorable Speaker, whenever such cases are reported. Honorable Speaker, there was again the question of KPLC, okay? Poles being required to be relocated when road construction is supposed to be done. Honorable Speaker, these are issues that we can address on a case-by-case basis. On a case-by-case basis, we continue to modernize and improve our infrastructure, and working closely with the relevant agencies, which I insist have to include the road agencies, Kenha, Kura, and so on and so forth, and the respective county governments. We can be able to minimize such cases, or the requirement to be able to locate these poles in the future, if from the first instance they are placed at the right places. Honorable Speaker, thank you.
Honorable CS, before I let you off, there are certain commitments that you made before the House, and I would like to remind you. One is a commitment you made on the 19th of November 2025 to a question by Senator Honorable Mwendo Agataya, CBS MP, on the data on the level of electricity connectivity in each constituency in Tharaka Nithi County. That information is yet to be availed. A commitment was made on the 19th of November 2025 when you were appearing before the chamber. Secondly, the same date, you equally made a commitment to avail information to Senator Boni Halwale, CBS MP, on the projects being implemented to enhance power reliability in the western region of Kenya. Those two, Honorable CS, are yet to be honored, and that is one way of us as a House seeking to implement or enforce the commitments that are made whenever you appear before this House. Kindly undertake within timeline certain that you will avail these two pending commitments.
Let me, first of all, Honorable Speaker, apologize if there was some sort of inaction on our part. I know I've had extensive engagement with Senator Halwale since then in other fora, but let me undertake that in the next 2 weeks, I will be able to provide those responses and those statistics. Yes.
CS, I'll not allow you 2 weeks. This is 19th of November, 2025. We are in the month of May, 2026. I do not want to allow you to be interpreted to be inefficient. I'll give you 1 week.
Well guided, Honorable Speaker.
Give you 1 week.
Well guided.
And this communication, of course, your officers knows the channels with which this will happen. Senator Boni, I'll not allow you to intervene. I hope in the next 1 week, your responses your information will be made available. If it doesn't, then you know what to do. And as well, I know what to do. Honorable CS, similarly to the one by Mwenda Gataya, I will not allow you to intervene. I have allowed the CS 1 week to respond. With that, honorable members and the CS, would like to appreciate you for appearing before the House and responding to the questions.
The question, Honorable Speaker.